Hi everyone, this is Connie from Connie's Creative Creations. If you are new here, welcome, and if you're returning, hey, I'm so glad you're back. Today I am taking part in Freckled Mom DIY's Room by Room, and her co-host is Lianep from DIY Beauty on Purpose. So let's get to this. Alright, I decided to redo some things that I had and design an area with those. So I took this old, it's like a valance, wooden valance over my kitchen sink, and I already took part of it apart, and I measured the area I wanted it to be in. It was to be 50 inches, but I decided to go with about 40, I think it went like 43, 42, so I'd have some space on either side. And I'm just figuring out exactly where I wanted to cut it, and I have to do a couple of different swipes on this because of the shape and the fact that there's two pieces, and I didn't want to have to take them apart. So I'm just turning it, and I am just cutting it, and I end up doing 3 cuts because of how wide it is, but it ended up working out just perfectly. And this is my miter saw that I am using on this. Like I said, I'm just getting it completely cut, and I will then I need to sand it. Now this, because it was in the kitchen, it has grime on it, like oily grime, or just, from the kitchen. So I needed to sand it really good so that when I paint it, it will accept the paint and it won't bleed through. But I noticed there was 2 holes in it that was holding that valance part, and they were empty. And I remember when I took it off the wall, I had to take those screws out, so I'm just re-putting them in, so I just to secure it. And that one was giving me a little bit fits, and I just sucked it right up in there. And I'm just using my palm sander, and I am just going to sand it up all nice and good, make sure there's no rough spots, no splintering. A lot of times when you cut wood on the ends, it splinters. So I'm just making sure that there is no unevenness or anything on this, and that there's no sticky residue left on it. So I just go ahead and I'm gonna get this all finished, and then we're going to paint it. Now I use a little brush to brush off any of the leftover sawdust or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm doing that last little lip there with the sander. I have several sanders, but this is probably my most favorite, and that's my palm sander. I have a hand belt sander, and then I have a huge big belt sander, but that wouldn't work on this project. So there I am, just sweeping off any of the excess dust, and I'm going to flip over to another little table, and I'm just going to get this all painted. Now this is white paint, Kiehl's paint and primer in white from Walmart, and I'm just going to paint this. And I'm not going to worry about the underside because you're not going to see it at all. So I end up doing 2 coats on this. Luckily today wasn't a very warm day, and I didn't sweat to death. The other day I was out there, it was 98 degrees in there or warmer, and I was sweating. So today it wasn't so bad. So I just got it all, like I said, I painted it, I did 2 coats, and then we're going to work on some things inside the house. and I'll come back out to do a second coat. Okay, finishing that up. Now I have my awesome cleaner, totally awesome cleaner from Dollar Tree, and I got this little lantern and this candle holder, and I'm using Waverly's chalk paint in the color Plaster, and I ended up giving this 2 coats, and I took out the glass part so that I could paint it easier and I won't get no paint on the glass. So I'm just painting it all up, and then I'm painting this candlestick holder, and I end up doing 2 coats on these, and the one is gold and the other was black, so there were some areas I had to do a 3rd coat, but I just got that all painted up, and I did the inside and the outside of the lantern. Now that candlestick holder, I couldn't do the inside, so it's just gold on the inside. But here I am just painting this. Now to me, the theme for the collaboration or the playlist is farmhouse or country or cottage, and I live in a very old home with a lot of cottage charm. So and the shelf came right from this house, so that's why I ended up doing it. Now I've got a lot of little knickknacks that I've had to put in a box when I moved in, and so I'm going to be decorating this shelf with some of those things, and you'll see that in a little bit as I work on this lantern and this candle holder. And now I'm just going to paint the whole thing with the gloss Mod Podge. Now, I am a Plaid ambassador, so I get all these products from Plaid, and Mod Podge and Waverly Paints, Folk Art, Applebarrel, Decor, I can't think of them all, but Plaid products. So that is one of the things that's going to seal this paint so that it won't get chipped off. Okay, and now here I am. I'm just going to I'm still finishing the Mod Podge on the underside to make sure, and on the inside I let the other part dry so that I could handle it and it wouldn't be sticky. So I'm just getting this all covered with Mod Podge. They're going to set this aside and go in my bedroom, and we'll start putting this all together. Okay, now I am a woodworker, so I'm very comfortable with wood, and this is where the shelf is going to be. Now what I'm doing is I'm checking it to find the studs. Now, studs are 16 inches on point. So if you look at a tape measure, at 16 inches it has a little mark. That is to tell you where the studs are. But this wall was a little different, but I have a light switch and electrical outlet. Those have to be next to a stud. So I just had to figure out exactly where my stud was at, and I was able to find 2 studs, and one I had to use an anchor on it. So what I'm doing is I'm marking it out, and then I wanted to make sure that my shelf was going to be level. So after I'm going to tape measure. I was going to measure from the bottom, but the rug is not even, so I just ran my tape measure up the wall, and I marked down 45 inches from the ceiling. I didn't want the shelf to be too high because there's going to be a bench underneath it, and I don't want banging my head on it or anyone else banging their head on it. So here I go. I'm just going to push that right up to the ceiling, mark 45 inches down on each one of them, and then I'm going to be putting 3 little blocks in the wall. That's what I'm going to sit the shelf on and screw from the top of the shelf down into those little blocks to secure this. Now, nothing is going to be super heavy on here, so I'm not worried about that, because these little blocks is going to hold it, because they're getting secured right into studs, and or the center one has an anchor, so that's not as important as the outside ones. So here I am just putting the little holes, the pilot holes. I put them in the wall, and now I'm just putting them in these little boxes, and I'm just going to screw these right onto the wall, and you'll be able to see the little blocks on the wall. And I'm just getting those all screwed into there. Now, like I said, I'm just working on all 3 of these so that I can get them all on there. And I'm also using a level to make sure that they are completely level, so that I don't have them cockeyed or uneven. And so I'm just sitting my level up there on top so that I can go ahead and get all these blocks on here. Now, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, helps my channel grow. If you hit the notification bell and you hit it twice and you click on the all, you'll be notified every time I upload a video, and that way you won't miss any of my content. Also, don't forget to give me a big old thumbs up, as well as leave me a comment. I enjoy reading everyone's comments. So here I am, getting those little blocks all up on this, up on the wall. Like I said, I'm putting the holes down on the, before I put them up, so I'm not trying to hold them and do them at the same time. Now, I had already put the pilot holes in the wall, so all I had to do was get this, put the screw in it, and then just get it poking out a little bit, and it'll fit right on there. Now here I'm showing you the shelf. It's all finished, and it's all painted up and dry and beautiful. So now we're going to bring that, and I was just checking, looking at it to see, you know, everything, and then I'm like, okay, I cannot hold it and screw it and everything at the same time. So I called my husband Ron in, and he helped me hold it up. But I first put the pilot holes, I marked on that, so I would have know where the little blocks were. So I put the pilot holes in, and I went up, and that's when I got him to come in and help me, and he held it for me while I screwed it in. And there's Ron. Now, at first he doesn't realize he's on film, and then he does, and then he starts talking to the camera, of course. And he's talking to Devin, saying hey to her, and I'm like, Ron, she's not going to hear this. I'm taking all the voices out and doing the voiceover. So he was my man to hand my drills, my different drills to me while I screwed it all in. So he was like, okay, am I done now? Okay, am I done now? I'm like, no, I have to get at least 2 of them in before you can walk away. So, yeah. But he was a good support. He helped me. But yeah, I think right about here is when he turns. Yeah, he was talking and then he left. Of course, then he had to flip off the light, flip it back on for me. Of course. So I went ahead and finished getting that last one in there. And then it's time to style this shelf. I first had to clean off all the sawdust. And I was going to put those mirrors above, and then I decided, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to use those for above by my headboard or somewhere else in my room. So I'm just grabbing different things. Now, this is a painting that I did for my mom a couple of years before she passed away. She loves tulips, so I painted her some purple tulips. And I'm putting that on there. And I'm just grabbing, I've got a bunch of stuff sitting over there, as well as on this other wall behind the camera. And I'm just deciding exactly what I want to put on there so that I can get this all styled. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this process of, I know it's supposed to be 2 to 3 DIYs or crafts, and I did some makeovers on some things, so I think that qualifies. And yeah, and I put that up there, and it didn't want to stand up, so I thought I'll just use that somewhere else. So I wasn't sure yet, so I was just looking, but here I am. I went and grabbed those the lantern and the candlestick holder, and I'm just going to finish styling this. And so I've got some little teddy bears and that picture, and I've got a jar that has bird houses on it. And then, like I said, I'm just going to put all these things on here, getting it all styled the way I like it. And then the bench that I'm putting under there is a bench that I made a few years ago. And actually it was for my dining room, but now I've been using it in the bedroom, so I'm gonna have to make another bench for the dining room. We don't always use a bench, but I like to have it available. So, but there, it's just about finished. There's a couple of other little things that I'm putting up there. Some of these things were gifts. Some are things I found in my travels, in stores and stuff. So, I'm sorry, I always yawn. I'm not even that tired, but I yawn anyway. But there, I am getting that all finished. And then we are going to style the bench underneath it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move that. And then I've got to get everything off of the bench. And I'm taking all the sawdust off of the bench. And I'm going to sit it right there. And then I've got this blanket. And it's green on one side where I put it. I've got pillows for it. But I'm going with more of the harvest fall time. So I'm just going to pull that and put that on there so that it won't slide off. Make sure it's all snug. And then I'm going to grab these pillows. Now these pillows was given to me by a company through Amazon, and I will leave a link to them as well as the company's name in the description box. And they put these out at Christmas time, not Christmas time, summertime. But to me, these are very harvesty because it's got sunflowers and I just love it. So I hope you guys really enjoy all of these, everything that I did. You can see a close-up there. And I hope you guys enjoy this as well. And don't forget to leave me a comment. And I hope you guys all have a very blessed week and be the Bible that somebody reads today. Bye.